All right, Steve, I've got a hard-hitting question I've got to get your insights on.
Hit me.
All right, so like a lot of people around the world now, we were hanging out with some friends, doing a little game night via Zoom, doing a little Zoom hangout last week with
Zooming
our friends Krista and Dave and a bunch of other folks.
All you want to do is zoom, and a boom.
Exactly,
boom.
the very thing. That's what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And then shake your rump.
Obviously.
So we were doing a hangout, and they had invited a bunch of their other friends on there, one of which turned out to be my new buddy, Big Bad Bill. Big Bad Bill happens to be a listener of the show. We were hanging out and stuff and having some drinks, and he's like, wait, are you Ben Eller, the podcast man? And I said, I am indeed the podcast man. And he said, oh, I like your show, man.
Well, shout out to Triple B.
Shout out to old Big Bad Bill. Now, here's the question, Steve. And this is one that he posed during our night of gaming and fun. And I want to know what you think about this. If a conjoined twin masturbates, is it incest? I gotta know.
Buddy. That's a tough one.
How does that go? Do you mind if I used a penis tonight?
Are they attached at the head, at the hip? Are there two penises? If there are two penises, then
definitely
as long as it's your penis, then no, it's not. But if you're grabbing your conjoined brother's penis and jerking it off, well, that's incest.
And there you go, guys. The answers to the hard-hitting questions that we all have on our minds right now. Welcome to the newest installment of Dad and Lovely, your favorite horror movie review podcast in all the known multiverse. Here with your best buddies, it's me, your good friend, Uncle Ben.
And me, your worst enemy, Hollywood Steve.
Oh, man.
With an eye patch.
Here.
That's how you know I'm bad.
I watched the episode of Good Mythical Morning recently where they gave Link a badass makeover. Have you seen that one?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yes,
he
it
ends
is.
up with like an eye patch and a face tattoo. All kinds of good stuff. How you been doing this week, Steve?
Man, I've been good. What's been a timeless void.
Yeah, really. What the fuck day is it? Does it matter?
I exist?
Who cares?
I'm not sure.
I'm starting to feel more and more like we're all, in like a season of Lost.
Yes, that makes sense, because I did wake up this morning thinking, this is hell.
And the writers are clearly making this up as they go.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They're like, oh, and then what if the president is an absolute moron? And they're like, but how much of a moron could he be before everybody catches on? We'll find out.
Let's push the limits.
Mm-hmm.
You been watching anything scary other than the news this week, Steve?
Have I? I don't know if I watched anything too scary. Oh, shit. I watched Beyond. Oh, that thing I was talking about last week, Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh, yeah.
I watched, they had another episode on the Brawl for All, which was a thing WWE did in like 98, I think.
I don't recall what that was. What is that?
But they had professional wrestlers have actual fights with boxing gloves. And a ton of people got injured. And
oh, shit.
It was Vince Russo's idea. And you know what that means. It was a bad one. He put the WCW title on David Arquette. So
okay, all right, yeah.
So it was
not
a bad
exactly
idea.
An idea, man.
Yeah, and Jim Cornette is on it, and I love Jim Cornette. If you get a chance to listen to his podcast, or at least go on YouTube and just listen to
fantastic.
Some of the segments of his podcast. He's hilarious, and
he's a rascal. He's a textbook rascal.
Yeah, and he does not mind letting everybody know how he feels. So Vince Russo came up with this idea, and Jim Cornette basically told him at one point that he wished he could kill him because he hurt so many of Jim Cornette's friends for a stunt that he thought would be funny. So it's an interesting one. It's not as sad as the Benoit one for sure.
Well, probably not many things out there are.
That is true. That is true. What have you been watching, Ben?
Dude, I've had time to catch up on a few things. We had ourselves a good weekend here. We just kind of like holed up and did a bunch of necessary shit, like finished doing the taxes, and Kate went through and organized the fridge and all that kind of shit. But we also had ourselves just some good old fun time TV time to watch a couple movies during the daytime, which is something we've not done in like years. But the other day we watched Parasite, which is one that everybody's been blowing up about.
Right. And I haven't watched it yet.
You need to watch it. I'm really fascinated to find out what you think about it.
It's on Hulu, right?
Yeah, totally for free. You don't have to have any kind of like extra services or anything. Man, it's fucking awesome. It's also way different than what I thought it would be like, you know? It's one of those flicks that you go into it with a certain expectation, and at one point you're just like, what the fuck now? I did not see this coming. I'm not spoiling anything, but yeah, it goes places that I was not really anticipating.
Okay.
It's really cool. It is kind of a stretch to call it horror. I see people kind of lumping it in as a horror movie a lot. It's not really.
That's what I've seen more of, is people saying it's not horror.
Okay, right on.
So I think a lot of people sort of backlashed at the idea that it was horror. Like, no, it's not. I saw dark comedy a lot, and
it's got some thriller, it's got some oddly funny stuff. Yeah. Definitely more of a thriller kind of thing to me too. Yeah, really beautifully shot too. Absolutely fucking gorgeous. Okay. Man, it's weird. Very cool flick.
I finally have to sit down and just watch it because there's no excuse.
No, exactly. And we also watched 2 movies that I have to say I do not think could be made these days, but I absolutely fucking love, man. One of them being Blazing Saddles by Mel Brooks. Okay. Still immortally fucking funny, dude. That movie is so damn good. And the thing about it is like, I know a lot of people might watch it now and be like, holy shit, this is like really racist, because there is some like really racist humor in there. But it's to expose how dumb racism is. Like,
that's
the racist characters in the movie are fucking stupid. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, it's so good. And the other one was Life of Brian by Monty Python.
Yeah, there's some bits in there that are pretty risque.
Life of Brian is so fucking funny though, man. And it really does like get into some mega sacrilegious territory. I can't believe they made that movie back then, man. It's so funny.
I think now it wouldn't matter nearly as much. Would it? I mean, are people? I mean, the religious people are the religious people. It's kind of like there's more of a border now. It used to bleed into everyone's life. Like religion was a big part of everything, but now it's just like the people that are religious, like it's a part of their life. The people that aren't religious is like we don't think about it. So, something like that might be funny for a lot of people, and religious people would get upset about it, but I don't think there'd be a whole lot of crossover. There wouldn't be a whole lot of atheists like, hey now, let's be less sacrilegious.
Man, fun
be
stuff.
Careful with Jesus's name now.
It makes me want to go back and rewatch a bunch of other Monty Python stuff too, because it's been forever since I watched like Holy Grail and all those. Those are like movies that were very formative for my sense of humor.
Yes.
I watched them a million times as a kid, and I just loved the absurdity of all of it. So it's kind of got me stoked to go back and rewatch a couple of those too.
Ben, I watched a Tiger King.
Okay, so you did the thing that everybody is doing. Everybody's either baking bread or watching Tiger King.
Yeah, and I'm not doing carbs, so I couldn't do bread. Though I have considered baking bread several times and just been like, I'll just give it to other people.
How was the Tiger King?
I mean, honestly, if you're into true crime, I think it's the thing to watch. And I think that's why so many people are into it. It's about a bunch of deplorable people, and the people that you see that you would immediately think, oh, that guy's going to be the weirdo in this entire thing, turn out to be the sweet and nice people, and the weirdos are the normal looking people. And though none of them look very normal, they all are immediately crazy looking.
They just look like Florida people to me.
Oh well, they're from all over. They got the Myrtle Beach guy. They got Oklahoma. That's where the Tiger King himself is. But yeah, like they're crazy. It's an insane thing. I think I talked about it a little last week. I'm not sure, but
did you enjoy it overall though?
Yeah, I think yes. Yeah,
I think.
I mean, I think it's something you just kind of have to see more than anything. I don't know. I don't know if enjoyment is something. It's something. It's something.
It really was
sure.
something.
It
That's a strong review.
It definitely is. Yeah. So there you go. That's my review of the Tiger King.
What did you guys watch on the streaming chat this week?
We watched Wes Craven's made-for-TV movie, Invitation to Hell.
Oh, shit. I missed this one. Was it awesome?
No, it was terrible.
No good.
God, I had never seen it. I just saw Wes Craven, and I was like, well, I mean, at the very least, knock this off the Wes Craven checklist, right? Like, I can say
sure.
I've seen it. So we watch it. It's got Susan Lucci. That's always fun. As soon as I was seeing the font when it was like starting, I was like, is there going to be a cyborg in this motherfucker? And yeah, there were robots involved.
They got a robot in there, huh?
Yeah, and also hell was involved.
Oh.
But also it was about a country club. Basically, I think it was there were some Wes Craven ideas in there where he was like, yeah, and fuck people who go to country clubs. But he was also like, and cocaine. I want lots of cocaine. And they were like, we really need to finish this story. And he was just like, yeah, and there's like a robot or something, and they go to hell. Just do it. Just get Susan Lucci. Just do it.
This sounds like that could be the description of so many fucking 80s coked out boardroom meetings where it's just like, we need to finish this. I don't know. Fuck it. Get Susan Lucci. I don't know. Just make it.
Yeah.
And that's how the 80s were made.
That's how the 80s were made. Yeah, so it was bad and hard to enjoy because it was just like so, I don't know. It was so hard to grasp what was ever happening. But it was definitely like a ripoff of there was some bit of a Poltergeist in there. It seemed like some bit of maybe some ideas that came out in Nightmare on Elm Street, maybe that he was thinking through at the time. Like I'm not sure, but it's bad, not worth a watch.
It kind of sounds like it was a hodgepodge of like all the scrap pieces of paper and like Post-it notes that were in his wastebasket.
Right. That's pretty accurate. I guarantee it was just like, oh yeah, you can put my name on it and I'll do a bunch of cocaine. That's fine. Like, I don't know though. It's tough. It was a tough watch.
Wow. Well, you guys can always tune in for the stream and chat every Friday.
Every Friday,
I don't
9
often
p.m.
get to hang out,
EST.
but Steve is always there.
Yeah. We have a good group now every week because what else can you do?
What the fuck else is anybody doing? Yeah. I'll tell you what I've been doing, Steve, and that's getting a pull. Would you like to get a pull with me?
Let's get a pull.
What are we going to be pulling on here, Steve?
Well, I'm going to be pulling on this big old mamba of mine.
Oh, look out. This podcast just got R-rated. You're pulling on your mamba?
But it's a Gilgamesh Brewing mamba, Ben.
Oh, you don't say. What number of mamba is this?
This looks like mamba number 6.3.
Mamba number 5.
A 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5.
When's the last time anybody checked on Lou Bega? I'm kind of getting worried. We not received updates on him or his whereabouts.
Oh, no,
you don't know what's going on with him.
He was on a commercial not long ago. Like last year, maybe. I think it was for Visa.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so
he's fucking German? He's from Germany.
I did know that. I did. That's a weird thing. I remember that because, I mean, back in the day, MTV had to fill the time by saying something about the videos.
Right.
That was before they realized, no, we could just have people scream while we halfway play the video.
And then just no videos at all. No music at all.
None. No. Here's Real World Road Rules Challenge. Get on it. So this is...
Where does Mamba come from?
This has come from Oregon. So that's Jason and Miles, right? Sent us these.
You're damn right that it is. Yeah. I'm so excited to get a pull on this thing. Okay. Obviously, we can't all go nowhere, but we can take sips of everywhere.
That's
by
true.
Drinking beers from all over the place that our fans
sip of everywhere. So this is an ale brewed with black tea and tangerine peel. And that sounds refreshing to me.
That sounds awesome to me. I'm very okay with getting a taste of this thing. 6.3%, so not terribly brutal. Not as brutal as our next one's going to be, for sure. I'm excited about that. How's that treating you?
Man, it's a nice amber color. Smells great.
It's a little hazy. Ooh, that's good. You can definitely kind of smell the sort of black tea element on the nose.
Yeah. It's light.
That's nice. Yeah, it is. It's not too sweet either. I was kind of worried this is going to be one of those like way too orangey, way too tangerine-y kind of beers, you know? But it's subtle.
It's real subtle. I like it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I could smash a handful of those things into my face.
Yes. Hell yeah. All right. Man,
thank you guys so much for sending us those beers. That's delicious. Now, Steve, the subject of our show today, of course, is Crawl, which came out last year, 2019. Yep. The one that a lot of people were talking about.
Yeah, it was a big summer movie.
Yeah, which I can kind of understand why people were talking about it. We'll get into that in a second here, but not before we step into the Preview Palace.
Welcome to the Preview Palace.
And we're going to be doing a little FAQ, just us and you. As you guys know, whenever we do the Preview Palace here, sometimes we like to do a little FAQ scenario where we answer your all's questions. And we've been running a thing here for the past couple months where if you go on iTunes and review the show, you can leave a question at the end of your review and you get immediate priority for being here on an FAQ whenever we do one. So I'd like to answer a couple of these questions that we have from fans and then get to some of the ones that we got over on the Facebook group. There's some really good questions on there. How's that sound to you, Steve?
Yeah, it sounds awesome to me.
All right, Steve, let me go ahead and ask you this first question here. This comes from reviewer J. Marr, and then it's got a little whiskey glass. So he likes things that are nice. Question, which is the more passionate lover, Pinhead or Chop Top? Chop Top from Texas Chainsaw 2, for those of you guys who don't know. That's a good question right there.
Yeah, okay. So here's the Chop Top, he's enthusiastic.
Absolutely so.
But Pinhead, he wears his sexuality like on the exterior. He lets you know.
He probably gets freaky. He probably gets pretty fucking freaky.
Yeah, like he's got that sort of droning voice because he is unimpressed with everything that's going on. He's waiting for it to get freaky.
Yeah, he's pretty desensitized, I think, towards a lot of things. I mean, it's a casual greeting in the Cenobite world just to be like, hey, what's up? Let me put my fingers in your mouth.
Yeah, how about this? Boom.
Yeah, fingers if that's how they say hello, you know something's going in a butt. You know it's happening.
You know something's going in a butt.
Just some butt, something's going in there.
Something.
So I think that Pinhead would be a more experimental lover, but I think that Chop Top would be more passionate. This is the question: is where the passion is, and I can see Chop Top getting in there and just really making you feel love.
But the thing about passion is, and especially with Chop Top, you never know when it's going to turn. So he may suddenly want to murder you, and it's like at least with Pinhead, if he suddenly wants to murder you, it's because he's gonna like get something out of it. At least I'm making him come.
That's
Chop Top's just doing it, and then he's probably going to cry or something, and then laugh.
Kind of a wild card. Yeah. Scratch his forehead and stuff like that.
All that crazy shit.
All right, Steve, the next one that we have here, pull up my photos, comes from... Oh, actually, the way I screenshotted it, it cut off what the name of the reviewer was. Shit. But the question is, what are some crucial first steps to beginning a podcast? Why, we've done that before, Steve. We know.
Yeah. Crucial first steps. Well, I would say the number one first step is record a podcast.
Just get it done.
Yeah, because we talked about recording a podcast for years before we recorded a podcast.
Yeah.
And I would say that that's to our detriment. We could have just started it, and it would have been good.
Yeah, totally. Don't overthink it.
Yeah, don't overthink it. But as far as the things that you just have to do, one, make sure that the title you want to use isn't being used by someone.
Yeah, that's crucial.
And then find a host. I recommend Podbean. That's who we use. Find a host and get that name and post an episode. Those are your big steps.
Yeah. And I would say too, just like additional things are develop a good rapport with whoever you're doing your show with. If you're doing a show with somebody else, I mean, me and old Steve Arena here had the luck of having gone to college for years together and shit.
We already knew each other.
Yeah. But also too, like, take a little bit of time to get your audio and stuff straightened out.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even, dude, that you have to go out and buy like these incredible podcasting mics and blah blah blah.
You don't.
We use pretty simple stuff to record our show.
I record right now on a DJ Hero mic. DJ Hero, I mean, that's USB crazy. Mic from an Xbox 360. So like,
that's insane, and it sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds good. It doesn't sound as good as the Shure mics that you have.
Yeah.
Which is, what is that? Is a Shure?
Yeah, it's like SM58.
58. Yeah, that's what we.
Yeah. Which is inexpensive. That's like under $100.
That's not an expensive one at all.
No, So I would say like work that stuff out. Get some simple mics and stuff like that, but also just understand that whatever digital audio workstation you're recording in probably has some simple plugins for things like compression, noise gate, stuff like that. Learn a little bit about editing and filtering out your pops on the mic and weird noises in the room and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think those are just little things that help.
We don't use any fancy software. We just use Logic. But I know there are fancier softwares and softwares out there, particularly for podcasting. So if you want to research that, you can. If you just want to open up Logic and do it, you can do it.
Look online for
simple
tutorials and stuff too. It's pretty easy to find YouTube tutorials for like ways to improve spoken audio in GarageBand or whatever. It's not hard at all.
Yeah, we have our level set. I never really have to adjust much at all.
That's right. So
it's pretty simple once you get it all figured out. It takes a little bit of work to figure it out. Beyond that, that it really just comes down to your content. Make sure that you're saying something interesting or giving a perspective nobody else has. Like if you're just making a podcast that sounds like any other podcast, it's not surprising if you don't get a lot of listens because it just sounds like any other podcast. So give it your own spin. Be yourself.
There you go. Yeah. Be yourself. All right, go start your podcast now.
Done. Go.
Right. I got one more here from iTunes. My question to you is, if you could go back in time to be on set while a particular horror film was being made, which one would you choose and why? That's a fun question right there. Because honestly, I think most of my favorites, I probably wouldn't want to be on the set. Yeah, that's what I was
thinking. Yeah, The Shining, Jaws, stuff like that comes to mind. I don't want to be there.
I don't want to hang out.
I don't want to hang out in the jungle.
Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't want to fucking hang out there.
Yeah.
No. I think so honestly, when I think about ones that I would love to just be around hanging out, dude, I bet you the set of Dusk Till Dawn was a fucking blast.
I bet that was a blast. Yeah, I bet it was. Yeah, that was probably really fun. I'd say anything Robert Rodriguez has done is probably a fun time. But yeah, Dusk Till Dawn would be good. I mean,
that was the one that came to mind for me.
A trauma movie would probably be fun.
That would probably be okay.
Yeah. But though, honestly, if it's your dream to be on the set of a trauma movie, contact Lloyd Kaufman. He'll get you on the set of a trauma movie.
He'll make that happen.
Yeah.
I bet that being in like a Romero movie was probably really fun too. Where you'd had all these people from Pittsburgh and shit showing up.
Yeah, I bet they had a blast.
Makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of those are probably a lot of fun too. It seemed like that was just pretty much just like anything goes,
I know that the first couple of seasons of Walking Dead were like that too, where like all the zombies, like they were really having a lot of fun together because it was just locals coming out and like, you get to go be a zombie for a day. And then, later it's probably less fun. But yeah, that sounds like a great environment to me. It's almost like a tailgate, but you also get to be in a zombie movie.
Yeah, that's a win-win situation. Yeah. And eat some rancid pig guts sometimes.
Oh boy, yummy. But yeah,
low-carb meal for free.
So many of my favorite movies, I would not want to be there.
I don't want to be on the set of The Exorcist. That'd be miserable.
Terrible.
Fucking dude just shooting guns at random and stuff like this. Hard pass. God.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to a couple here that people posted over on the Facebook group, which of course everybody can join up. Just look for Dead and Lovely on Facebook. You'll find it. Join up. join in the conversation. Lots of cool people
it's
here.
Facebook.com/dead and lovely.
There you go. Including our main man. Oh, it's Kev Bickerdike, isn't it? One of our favorite Dead and Lobsters up there. He asked a good question here, Steve. Which films... Wait, should I do this in an accent? I think I probably should.
Oh, yeah, please.
Oh, Governor, which films have you had seriously low expectations? I don't even know what fucking accent.
I don't either, but it's good.
Seriously low expectations of going in, but you loved it by the end, didn't you?
All right.
I got a couple.
Yeah, I would say, actually, speaking of Kev Bickerdike, Dog Soldiers was
that's
a movie
one
that he recommended, and I had never heard of it, and just assumed, since I'd never heard of it, that there wasn't much there. And I think it's a good movie, and I was very pleasantly surprised by it and enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's one on my list too, man. I would say one for me, I kind of went through our show log here and found some of the ones that stood out to me. Jennifer's Body is definitely one that I went into with zero expectation. Like, you told me that you liked it and stuff.
I did, yeah.
Which, I guess gave me a little bit of expectation for it. But, man, I really enjoyed that movie. I thought that it was actually very smart.
Yeah.
And had a lot to kind of chew on.
Yeah, that's how I felt about it, too, when I saw it. Because I remember I was interested in it because it was Diablo Cody, and I liked Juno. But I remember the advertising for it was terrible. It really just seemed, it just seemed like a terrible attempt at a horror movie. And then I decided, well, I'm still gonna watch it, and I watched it and really, really enjoyed it. And then when we watched it for the podcast, like really digging into it, liked it even better. That's a great movie.
Yeah, totally, man. Paranormal Activity, that's another one for me that I thought I would just fucking hate.
Yeah,
because usually, the horror movies that make billions and billions of dollars and have tons of mainstream success are usually not ones that I like. Yeah. But man, I thought that it was pretty cool. Even having seen it, years and years after the fact of it coming out, I still enjoyed it. Same with Blair Witch Project, man. Like,
right, yeah.
That's one of those ones that whenever we did our episode on that, I was like, man, this is going to be awful. This is just going to be a movie that I fucking hate. But then through watching it and then learning about the making of that you talked about on the episode, I was like, man, this is actually pretty fucking all right. Like, I'm not rushing to watch it again, but it was way better than I expected it would be.
Yeah, Blair Witch is one of those that it has a lot to it that is worth the time, but doesn't hold up 20 years later at quite as well. Where it's just not as good of a found footage horror movie as you may have come to expect, because there are some really well done ones, and that Blair Witch is a lot of running through the forest and bad camera shots and stuff.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, still exceeded expectations. Same with Dr. Sleep for me, man. Like,
that was actually what I thought of.
Yeah, like, dude, making a follow-up to, in my opinion, the best horror movie of all time. What, like 30 years later or something like that?
Yeah.
That's basically impossible.
Right. And Mike Flanagan did a pretty great job of attempting it. I didn't love the movie, but it's also
not fucking anywhere near The Shining, but
it's also it was more than I expected and different than I expected. I think it played best when it was its own thing. Like, before you get to the hotel, those were the parts I thought were the best. Though the hotel was good, it had its moments and stuff. Before that, all the original stuff was so interesting to me.
It's pretty fucking good, man.
Yeah.
Again, I was pleasantly surprised. And then also too, like, a lot of the cast and Rose the Hat, all those characters and stuff, very memorable, very fucking good. So yeah, that was one for me. You got any that come to mind for you that were better than you expected?
Yes, Office Killer.
Oh yeah,
that was a weird movie. And
that was weird as fuck.
I mean, I didn't know what to expect from it. Cindy Sherman directing. I expected it to be interesting to look at, but I just really didn't know where it was going to go. And that is such a strange movie, and I really like how weird it gets.
Sure does. Yeah. It gets really, really weird.
Yes, it does.
Right on, man. Well, we got another question here from David Wayne Barnett. He asks, favorite RPGs and best system for RPGs. Now, we're talking about some gamer shit. Get into that nerd shit.
Yeah.
Good time to do it, too. So we got that Final Fantasy VII remake out right now, which I am dying to fucking play.
I picked this because I think the answer for favorite or the best console for RPGs is the simplest answer ever, the Super Nintendo.
Okay, so you're gonna go Super NES on here because
Super
of like
Nintendo.
Probably a Chrono Trigger, a Final Fantasy III, Secret of Mana.
It's so deep. Secret of Mana, yeah, all the Final Fantasies, like it is just so deep as far as single consoles go for RPGs. But my favorite RPGs are more modern, I would guess. I love Fallout New Vegas and just played through it again recently.
Yeah.
And still love it. 100%.
I've heard it's fucking awesome, man.
Yeah,
I've never played any of those games. I'm totally missing out, aren't I?
Yeah, Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. I haven't played Fallout 4, but it looks great.
Super NES is also the place that I started falling in love with RPGs. Like initially starting with kind of action RPGs like Link to the Past and Secret of Mana that are a little bit more hands-on when it comes to the combat. But have, all the same like stats and gear and magic and shit like that. So that's kind of what got me into those. And Super Mario RPG. I mean, that was a huge game for me back in the day. Still has an awesome soundtrack and stuff, too.
Yes, it does.
But I got to say, when I'm thinking about like my favorites, my absolute favorite RPGs, I mean, Final Fantasy VII is the first thing that comes to mind.
Right.
Which of course is a PS1 title. Like I find that once you kind of get into the more... It's not even modern, really. I was going to say, once you get into like PS2 and 3, that's when RPGs started getting a lot more like first person. Now we have games like Destiny and all that stuff that are essentially first person shooters with RPG elements.
Yeah, Fallout.
But back in the
Elder Scrolls, they're
deal.
like that too. Yeah.
Yeah, but like back in the day when it was still like PlayStation era, a lot of those games still had that classic JRPG feel. And you had turn-based combat and stuff like that, which I know is a big turnoff for a lot of people, but that's just how I grew up playing RPGs, so I love that shit. So you had Final Fantasy VII on there. Final Fantasy VIII was also really fucking awesome.
Final Fantasy Tactics was...
Tactics is on there, too.
Because I love
man.
tactics RPG games. Shining Force 2 for Sega Genesis was my introduction to them. And Final Fantasy Tactics is one of the better ones. The Game Boy Advance remake is better than the PlayStation 1 one. Yeah, it's really great.
Damn, dude. And also, too, you had games like Parasite Eve, which kind of started bridging the gap between like survival horror and RPGs and stuff like that, as well as Castlevania Symphony of the Night, which is maybe my favorite game ever.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
Yeah, so I'll probably end up going with PS1. Plus, I can totally cheat here and say you can play Final Fantasy Anthology, which features Final Fantasy VI Japan or Final Fantasy III US. So you still can play that on PlayStation 1. So I get to have my cake and eat it too.
Awesome.
Okay, last question right here comes from Facebook user Otis P. Driftwood. That's a familiar name.
I think I've heard of that.
He says, horror as social commentary. Which topics are underrepresented in horror, but you feel should be talked about more? Now, that right there is a good question. Because, that's one of our favorite things about horror movies is the ability to use horrific things like monsters and all that jazz to portray societal woes and troubles. So it is kind of ripe for that kind of thing. What's something you feel like is underrepresented?
I think maybe... movies that we've covered recently may make it seem like this is more prevalent, but economic inequality is very ripe for horror movies. It's perfect presenting. I mean, The Purge does a good job of it. We talked about The People Under the Stairs, Ready or Not. Yeah, like there are movies that do a good job of it, but really, like, the more people can get different angles on it and give us different ways of looking at it, the more it gets in people's consciousness and we really start actually dealing with the issue. Right,
yeah. Yeah, you're totally right, man. Who is it recently that told me that you could have titled Ready or Not Crazy Rich Caucasians. I can't remember who said that, but it's very accurate. Yeah, that's definitely a topic that I feel like could use some more exploration, especially in these trying times and our current, going back to Reaganomics, trickle down,
right?
Non-existent wealth that's going on. It would be a good time to go over that stuff.
They don't even try to hide it. Trickle down is pissing on you.
Yeah, it's piss on you.
Yeah. Like we'll ingest it and we'll piss it out, and you can get what you can out of the piss. Before it was, what was it called? It was called horse and sparrow economics or something like that. And the idea was the horse eats the oats and the sparrow eats the oats out of the horse's shit.
Oh, no, that's a little bit more on the nose. As far as
they've never tried to hide what they're saying. Like we'll take the nutrients and you take what the fuck's left. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Another uplifting podcast with Dad and Lovely. I think a topic, kind of going back to what I was talking about with Life of Brian and stuff, I think a topic that I wish could be explored a little bit deeper in horror is religion. And not just picking specifically on Christianity,
and not just Catholicism. It's almost all Catholicism whenever you see it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, I would love to see things talking about, Scientology, Mormonism,
right.
Even getting into a lot of the other religions that we might not be necessarily as familiar with over here in the States. Kind of like how Baskin had a lot of those.
Oh, yeah.
Really strange, esoteric things from that side of the world. That was really
fun.
Cool.
The closest that the Mormons have come to being a horror movie is The Strangers. At the end of the movie, I think those two kids are supposed to be Mormon missionaries.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The two that show up and find them.
Yeah.
But like there's an easy way of doing like funny games with Mormon missionaries, or a guy like Ted Bundy hiding out amongst the Mormons, going on a mission and using the time to kill in a different place or whatever. Like,
yeah, dude.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I could definitely see Scientology very easily. Yeah. Maybe you could write about a woman being locked away from the public. Maybe she would be like the wife of the leader.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe your name would be something like Shelley. I don't know.
We're not making a documentary here, Steve.
Oh, right. Okay, we're talking about movies. Sorry. Yeah.
But yeah, whenever we get to see things that are explored on screen, like let's say for example the Easter segment in the holidays mythology,
that was
you get
awesome
to see some of those things on screen and realize just how fucking weird
a
lot of these things that we just kind of come to accept as normal growing up in the Bible Belt, whenever you actually see them on screen and realize how fucking strange it is, it's really cool. So I do wish that we could, maybe all be a little less sensitive about exploring those topics, because it could be really cool.
Yeah, it could be very interesting. I agree.
Yeah, I think so. Well, thank you guys so much for all the cool questions. There's a lot more there on the Facebook group that I want to explore at a later date. So we've not forgotten about you guys, because there's a lot of these that I definitely want to answer on another FAQ. So keep them coming, and we'll do those again on another Preview Palace. And like I said, rate and review on iTunes, and leave a question at the end of your review, and we'll cover that on a later episode of the show. All right, now, Steve, the topic of today's show is Crawl from 2019, which is one of those movies that I saw pop up on a lot of, best horror movies of the year lists alongside The Lighthouse and stuff like that. So I went into this with, at least hoping it would just be a fun, simple monster movie, creature feature. And it is a simple creature feature.
Simple
I'm not going to call it fun, though.
Yeah, I don't know that I ever had fun watching this. This was Quentin Tarantino's favorite film of 2019. Just so you know, Ben.
I want to know how much they paid him to say that. Or maybe he just didn't watch a lot of movies in 2019.
Ben,
he's like, well, this is one of the 3 movies I saw.
Movie. They love it, and I don't know why. I'm confused by it.
When you were reading the good reviews and stuff, what were people saying about it that they liked exactly? Because I just didn't get into it.
Yeah, they liked the tension. This movie is full of jump scares, which is a lot of jump scares, antithesis of tension. It's the constant reaping of tension, essentially. Like a jump scare is like, okay, we got a little bit of tension. All right, well, the scare. and then you build a little bit more.
Right
Another scare. Hey, like the jump scares are the antithesis of tension.
It's kind of like filling a balloon half full and then immediately popping it. Whereas the real tension is when you're watching the balloon get fuller and fuller.
Yeah,
and,
and is
when
it
going to pop?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, the fact that it's well shot, the fact that Kaya Scodelario, that's her name.
That's fun
Kaya
to say.
Scodelario. Yeah. The fact that she is so dedicated and really goes all out, especially when you know that she's acting against nothing, essentially, because these are CGI alligators that look good when they're not moving.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, she does a pretty good job, honestly. I was impressed with her performance. I don't know her from anything else, though, I don't think, do I?
You could. Do you know the Maze Runner films?
Oh, yeah. I think I saw the first one and was bored to tears.
There you go. Well, she was in that. She's also in the British show Skins. She's a British actress and does a good job with the accent.
Oh,
I mean, she doesn't sound...
I'll take that back. I didn't see Maze Runner. I was thinking of Divergent, which was fucking terrible. It was
if you saw Divergent, you saw Maze Runner.
I was going to say, we had this huge glut of Hunger Games, Maze Runner, Divergent, all these series that were kind of post-apocalyptic future for kids.
Right.
Hunger Games is okay.
I think she does a good accent. She doesn't sound like she's from Florida, though people from Florida can sound like several various different accents.
Yeah, that's kind of a hard one to pin down in one singular accent.
Yeah, so I think she does a good job there, and she's really dedicated to the role. Barry Pepper seems like he could be asleep at moments. It's just he's not reacting at all to the fake alligators, really.
That's true, yeah.
He only seems to react when he's supposed to be fighting one of the fake alligators. Other than that, he's just laying there, looking up. Not really. I just don't know what people connected to in this that made them like it so much.
Maybe there's subtext that we missed out on here where it's it turns out that the dad is so distraught after the divorce and stuff that he was actually trying to kill himself. There's this storm coming. I'm going to put myself in this basement, let some gators crawl in here and just, I don't know, fuck it.
Okay, that works, Ben. Okay, you just saying that better as a joke that actually would make the movie make sense. Because the movie is using all these different themes, and it seems like it's trying to tie these things together, but they don't actually come together. The fact that she swims for the Florida Gators is somehow supposed to connect us to the Gators and her swimming and them swimming and
Apex Predator
shit.
How fucking tired did you get of hearing that shit?
It was stupid. It was really dumb. But if this had been actually more about her going to save her dad, who's in the basement of his depression and is surrounded by his desire to die, then this makes fucking sense.
That actually would have made the movie a lot better. I can't believe that we just are sitting here recording this bullshit podcast, just joking around and shit, and it's actually the idea of him going back to their old family home and dying in the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than moving on with his life and his daughter comes and pulls him out of it, that actually would be better.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's so stupid that this movie, I think we're supposed to at the end of the movie be I'm glad that Haley and Dave are safe now. Here's the truth of this movie.
Likeable.
Yeah, she's not likable, he's not likable. She gets 5 people killed. The looters would not have died, most likely, if she hadn't been trying to get their attention.
That's true.
The cops would not have come out there and therefore not died if she had not stopped and talked to that cop and then ran away from them. She caused the deaths of 5 people. They continually make stupid decisions that lead to all of their woes. So I don't want them to survive.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's I thought that we were maybe through the age of people in horror movies making dumb decisions.
Making the worst decisions constantly. The decision oh, the levees might break. We should, in the midst of a hurricane, get in a light boat.
The tiniest little boat ever.
Instead of going to the second floor of this home, which is where they end up roof. After the boat gets knocked over and they get attacked by gators again and they have to fight their way up to the fucking second floor. They could have just gone there.
That would have been a good start.
You have to give a reason for them to not be able to go up there. Something had to have happened. Like, say, the stairs collapsed or something and they just couldn't get up there. Right. That would have made more sense.
Yeah. I think getting in a tiny little boat in the middle of roaring waters that are full of fucking gators, knowing that the levees are about to break and you're in the middle of a colossal storm, that's not where I want to be.
Yeah. And his reasoning makes no sense. His reasoning is, well, this is what's going to happen. Okay, so we should be in a boat. It's like, the levees are going to break. Right. So we should be in a boat. Okay. Like, what? How does that follow?
Yeah, how's that going to ride out for you? You going to ride the fucking waves?
Yeah, they just continually make the dumbest fucking decisions. And the thing that really irked me is the entire time I'm thinking, because we keep seeing like rays of light through the floorboards, and I'm like, those are some pretty thin floorboards. You could probably easily at least push them up. Like,
and they're clearly old and now completely waterlogged and soaked. Right. It seems like it wouldn't be that hard to bust through, right?
And then I was like, okay, we'll just suspension of disbelief, no big deal. And then she gets out, goes upstairs, and breaks through the floorboards. So that's the most infuriating fucking thing I've seen in a while in a horror movie. That they could have just fucking done that and crawled up through the floorboards and been like, okay, cool, now what do we do? Instead, no. All of their woes are caused by their ineptitude, and then they just break through the fucking floorboards. Like,
yeah. And that's the thing, too, man, is like, even if they were dumb characters making bad decisions like that are constantly putting them more in danger, but we really cared about these characters despite their stupidity, you'd still be like, oh shit, get out of there, you know? But this whole movie, I was like, I don't care what happens.
Yeah, I don't get into the idea of their relationship being that she's the best swimmer. And basically, she's a 6-year-old in her head. Because like when she starts talking about the divorce, like the stuff she says is what you hear from it. She's like, you gave up on mom.
That's not exactly stuff you hear from like college age kids whose parents are going through a divorce.
And then we very quickly find out that the mom wasn't happy and she left him. Like, what does she mean you gave up on it's headache inducing to understand that for some reason they had to show her at a swim meet so that later when she outswims gators, we're like, yeah, that makes sense. But gators swim 20 miles per hour. Michael Phelps at best swims 6 miles per hour.
Jesus Christ.
So why even waste our fucking time trying to prove she can swim fast?
Yeah, when obviously you can't swim fast enough to outrun one of these things.
And we're supposed to care so much about her fucking swimming. Why are we supposed to care? Like, everything they do to relate to each other is about swimming. And I don't give a shit.
That's one of the things, too, about the movie, honestly, that kind of, like, pissed me off the most, too, is it seems like their whole relationship was based around him being the coach, him turning her into apex predator swimmer, and that is kind of the basis of their relationship, right? It kind of reminds me of, like, dude, did you ever have any friends whose, like, dad was the basketball coach of your school team or whatever? Yeah. And, dude, they would just ride them to fucking death. It was awful. I had a friend whose dad was a basketball coach, and, you know, obviously I didn't play basketball, but I ended up just going and hanging out at the practices and shit like that, waiting on my brother or my friends to get done with homeschool basketball practice, by the way.
Homeschool basketball.
Yeah, the Lakeway Lakers, look out. You can bet there were feats of stunning athleticism on that team.
I bet.
But one of my friend's dad was like the coach, and you know how it is in those situations. These coaches ride their own kids like fucking 10 times harder than everybody else, and you're like, wow, this is like Michael Jackson's dad level abuse, you know? But in this movie, the thing is like, it shows that the dad based their whole relationship on this shit, but then it turned out that he was right.
Yeah.
That the skills he gave her did save their lives.
Yeah.
And all this kind of stuff. Like, I think it kind of carries this shitty message of just like, oh yeah, everything your parents put you through, they were right.
They were right to do it. Yeah. Like, he is completely infallible in this. Like, he is...
Yeah.
Except for every time he's wrong.
Well, and I like, too, how often he just goes and puts her life in, like, mortal peril.
Yep.
Where he's like, you go out there and swim across that. You can do it. Go, Apex Predator, kid. And then he turns out, she can. He was right.
Right?
I don't like that message in this movie. Yeah, listen to your fucking parents.
Yeah,
the family plot is just completely pointless in this. We have all that set up at the first with her and her sister talking on like FaceTime and all that shit. Yeah, there's the parents' divorce going on.
It's all for exposition, but it's exposition we get again later, so it's like, well, we don't really need it in the beginning.
No.
If the movie started with just her driving toward a hurricane, like, we don't know what's happening, like, she's just driving and the radio's on and we're hearing the messages we hear about the hurricane. That's all we need to know. And then, like, she talks to the cop, there's a time for exposition, then she gets there and they do all their fucking exposition. You don't need the family stuff at all. You don't need the swimming stuff at all.
No. But it doesn't make it better.
Right, then this movie wouldn't be a feature-length film. That's really what this is that this would be a good 30-minute movie.
This would be a good Sci-Fi Channel movie to me. Like, this so very much feels like the kind of stuff that would have been a script for, like, a Sci-Fi Channel movie in 1998.
Well, that is exactly what I would assume it was if you showed it to me and didn't give me any context. I would assume this was a sci-fi movie because despite a really good performance by Kaya Scodelario,
that sounds like a bacteria that's found in yogurt, by the way.
I've got that Kaya Scodelario.
It's good for my digestive tract.
Yeah, it's the good stuff. It's in yogurt, yeah.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis told me about it.
Yeah. Despite like a really good performance by her, it has nothing going for it.
No,
like,
it's just
characters
so
making
no
the dumbest decisions.
Good.
Yeah, like, it should never have left the fucking basement at all. We shouldn't see the looters get killed, or like the cops maybe show up, but we don't need to see like all this shit going on outside. What we need is the closeness of the basement, because when it's that early part where it's her just trying to figure out what's going on and like, figure out places to hide from the gators, that's all pretty cool, and I thought would make a really cool movie. But then it's almost, I feel like it is when it cuts out to the looters is where it really starts to lose me, because it's like, well, what do they have to do with this? And so she just got them killed? Like,
yeah, it turns out they have nothing to do with this. They were just there to provide a boat, which is just there for them to get in for 5 seconds before they get washed into their own house by the levees breaking.
But then the cops also show up with a boat. So, like, they didn't need the first boat. It's fine when the cops show up. That's fine. But I also hate the way that the other cop dies, because he clears the fan blade of the boat. He clears it of the seaweed. And he could have done that without getting out of the boat. But he clears it of the seaweed, and all he has to do is get back in the boat. But he sees a swing on a kid's swing set being pulled. Now, it could just be being pulled by the water. Why is he so interested in what's pulling it that he starts walking over to it? He just gets mesmerized by it and just starts walking over to it for no reason, and then gets killed by an alligator. Like, it's dumb as shit.
I didn't
makes
even
no sense.
Like, notice that the first time. That's fucking stupid. It's just like, well, he needs to die, so I don't know, just have him wander off. Yeah, that's
exactly what it was like. It was like, he needs to die. Like, if this at the end, and I really wished that this happened, if at the end we found out this was all because of a hoodoo curse, it would have been 10 times better.
Just give me something. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Emily and I were talking about it, and she hasn't even seen it. I was just telling her about it. And basically we came up with the idea that if what was happening was the dad was buying up houses cheap in a small like Cuban neighborhood or something, and then you get to involve like this hoodoo curse and stuff, and that's why the gators are acting in a way that alligators would never act during a hurricane, because they seek shelter. I mean, the ones in the basement would be doing exactly what they're doing because they would be seeking shelter and they would think that the humans were going to attack them. But then once you go out of the basement, it makes no sense unless there's a crazy hoodoo curse going on, like, because the gators would not act like that. They would be trying to find a place to hide from a hurricane.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of things in here where the gators act in ways that are completely against nature and against logic.
Yeah.
There's actually even a thing on YouTube that I watched of these two people in Florida that have like a gator farm and preserve and stuff like that seemed to really know what they were talking about. And they were just talking about a lot of the animal behavior in the movie and just how completely off base it is.
Yeah,
like whenever the alligators are like sneaking up behind somebody and then they'll let out a big growl or like
why would they do
whatever.
that?
Yeah, why would you announce your location to your prey?
Yeah, they would just attack.
Yeah, exactly. That's not what predators do, you know? There's a lot of things in there that just don't make sense.
I do like applaud the movie for the number of gator attacks that it does have on the protagonists.
Yeah, they
both get attacked at least twice.
But at the same time, when they get attacked, it kind of reminds me of like whenever you're playing Mortal Kombat or something and you like uppercut somebody and they lose like a gallon of blood, but they're still not even remotely slowed down or dead until the health bar is out.
I think
it's like,
that's
hey, I just broke your back. How are you still fighting?
and that's the weird thing, is that's actually probably more accurate, because gators don't often attack humans and rarely do they kill them.
Right. Very rarely.
So it is more likely that the gator would just attack to get away itself, and so the attacks wouldn't be deadly. But don't try to bring in some sort of logic now. You know, like why would the gators' attacks be so weak when everything else you're showing us about them, like when they attack the cop outside, he gets killed almost immediately. When they attack the looters, they get killed almost immediately. Like why are the ones in the basement so much weaker? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good question. The other ones do just immediately go in for fucking finish him stuff.
Yeah.
The other ones do kind of go for the light punches, I guess, don't they?
Yeah. This is a real good central idea of a horror short with a tacked on swimming story and then tacked on stories about other people getting killed by alligators during a hurricane.
It really does feel like a Sci-Fi Channel movie that just got done way better than it needed to be, man. And I was kind of envisioning, whoever was the person that had the idea for this and presented it to some writers, he's like, all right, guys, I got an idea for somebody having to avoid some gators in their basement. She's locked in there with her dad. I don't know. I'm going on vacation. You guys workshop this for a week. And then he comes back and he's like, oh, you guys have like really fleshed this out. You're trying to make this into a movie.
It really does read like a lot of brainstorming going on, where they just wrote alligator on the board, and then they were like, okay, what do you think about? Good swimmer. Okay. Apex predator, right? Florida Gators. Okay. Remember, you went to University of Florida. Cool. I got it. All right. What else we got? All right. Now let's talk about the main character. What if she mirrors him? She's a Florida Gator. Apex predator. Good swimmer.
One
Boom. Like, it's so like, it's like first level of creative writing type of thing, where it's like
real first draft feeling.
Yeah, like you're just tacking a bunch of stuff on, but you're not tying it all together. And some of this stuff that you're tacking on, if you took it off, wouldn't change the film. So like, why tack it on?
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah, this is one of those things, man, where I agree with you, where it would have been better if it did just all take place in the basement. Like whenever she goes in there into that crawl space And she's there for a good 30 or 40 minutes of the movie. Like at some point, Kate and I look at each other and we're like, is this like all going to take place down here? Is this why it's called Crawl? Is because it's in a crawl space?
That would have been really cool.
Because I was actually kind of like, oh, actually, I didn't know that. That was kind of unexpected. It would be cool if it all took place down there. Because you got so many great danger elements. It's like, for one, it's a tight, enclosed space, which you know I hate anyway. Everybody hates crawl spaces. They're nasty and creepy and gross. Also, the rising water. Also, these fucking predators in there. That's
all of that was working
setup.
so good. Yeah, it was working so good. And then they were like, okay, where do we go from here? And instead of being like, all right, let's go to point B, they were like, let's go to point X. Like, let's just skip all this bullshit and make it a completely different movie.
It would have been better if it would have stayed under there. It also, and again, this is my like main review of this movie. If there's going to be a soundbite of my review for this, it would be, this movie would be better if it was worse. Or it'd be better if it was better. I mean,
better if it was
way.
better, or better if it was worse, but not as is. Yeah.
No. Yeah, it either needed just like a self-awareness level to take it into just like, okay, this is silly. This is fucking another Deep Blue Sea or Anaconda or whatever.
Yeah.
And just have some fun with it and have some wackadoo characters and some funny zingers and stuff like that. Whatever. Just have fun with it. It can be that simple and dumb. Or it needed to be better and become like a man versus nature scenario. Obviously like Jaws or even something like The Edge or something like that. Like, those are movies that really analyze like the hopelessness of trying to fight nature and predators that are more evolved than us to hunt and kill and all that jazz. Like, those are cool. This just kind of sat in the middle really awkwardly to me.
Yeah, I agree. It just didn't ever get anywhere for me. We skipped full on like everything just straight into criticizing the movie. So I want to back up a little bit.
Let's back that thing up.
Yeah, this is an Alexandre Aja movie. Alexandre Aja did High Tension, which we've covered in the past.
But of course!
He did the Hills Have Eyes remake, which I've said before that I enjoyed.
I'd like to do that one, yeah.
And he also did Piranha 3D, which I also enjoyed. So
this is fun. He's a very talented director.
He is. He is a talented director, and I think he did no wrong in this movie. I think he was filming a script.
Movie could have been. Yeah.
Yep. He made it look as best as it possibly could on a $13.5 million budget where he was shooting in Serbia. And
it's
almost
a Serbian film.
Yep, it's a Serbian film. And almost everything you see is green screen. Aside from a couple sets, it's mostly all green screen. So
I was wondering how much of the movie was green screen, because like some of the effects and stuff, we'll talk about the effects in depth here in a second, but like I noticed, like, let's say during the outdoor shots where you have this like massive storm rolling in over this town, it all actually looked pretty fucking good. It looked better than it could if you had a real neighborhood and you CGI'd a storm onto it. That always looks like shit. So I guess they did full CGI everything. It was all fake. So it at least looked consistent, which that's a good idea, actually.
It is, yeah. It really is. And then you see the limits of the CGI they were given when you see the alligators move in physical space. When they're
a lot of times it's not great, yeah.
Yeah, when they're still, they look good. They do really well done. The moment they move, the lighting never works. They're never quite right. They always move at different speeds. It's just hard to get a handle on them.
Well, although this did do the right thing for CGI, especially when you're dealing with reptiles, they pulled the Jurassic Park thing. Keep it dark, keep it wet.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it look better. And there even were a few shots in there, I gotta say, where like, I can't remember when in the movie it was. They were still in the basement. But it's just kind of like a still shot of the gator's head from like the side. Yeah. And I was like, whoa. I was like, did they actually use a real gator for this? Or is that a puppet?
Yeah.
And then it moved and I was like, nope, still fake.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. When it was still, it looked like almost a prop, like some sort of head. But yeah. I mean, I would say most people who do CGI will tell you that keeping CGI still is easy to make it look good.
Yeah, totally.
If it's not
Photoshop
moving,
has shown us that.
Yeah. So yeah, it did. Yeah, I think you're right. It did look like for moments that they actually did a prop, but they did not. It was all CGI.
Which the CG was better than I thought that it would be, honestly. Like, knowing that this is going to be real life creatures. Like, we've seen alligators move and stuff. We know what they look like.
Yeah.
It's hard to like trick your brain into being like, now here's a fake one, and you're going to think it's real. So I expected it to be really bad and like really annoying. It wasn't that bad for the most part, honestly.
No, I liked it mostly, and I think it mostly played out well.
What was up with those shitty spiders, though? Those looked like shit.
They could have cut that too. That was a moment that made had no effect on the entire movie.
Zero impact.
Zero impact, and it looked terrible. CGI. The spiders were flat. Like, it looked like they were projected on her face.
Yeah, it looked like they had like an intern handle that. It's like, hey, we're busy working on these gators. You handle these daddy long legs. They're basically just dots with legs attached to them. You should do fine.
And then when they saw them, they weren't like, oh, well, we should just cut that because it's a brief second that doesn't change anything. Just cut it.
Never comes back, never does anything. She doesn't have a fear of spiders or anything like this.
Nope. Just
here and gone.
For no reason, bad CGI spiders. Here you go.
Yeah. Some of the gore is pretty good, though, I gotta say.
Yeah.
There are moments in there, man.
The
like
broken leg looks great.
Oh, dude, that's what I'm saying. Whenever he had to, like,
reset his leg.
Yeah. Ooh, man, my toes are curling up, dude. That was pretty fucking brutal. And then also just some of the, like, wounds and injuries and stuff looked pretty good.
And in that moment, Barry Pepper's really good. And Barry Pepper's a good actor. Like, I'm not talking any shit about him. I just think like he doesn't do much to sell that there are gators. Not nearly as much as she does. Like she's really selling it, and that's awesome. I think her dedication is probably what brings a lot of people into this movie because otherwise. He has his scene where he's fighting the gator and that scene where he's setting his leg that he's really like into it. And then, whenever he's talking about coaching her swimming, but like he never sells that these, I imagine dudes in suits crawling around are gators.
Steve, talking about this shitty movie is just making me thirsty. You want to get another poll?
Let's get a poll.
How about we do that? I just happen to have set in front of me, and you have one set in front of you, a K2 Bros Brewing from upstate New York, sent to us from our good friend, my name is Jeff. This is their barrel-aged Scotch ale, and I think this is exactly what we need right now, Steve, because we need a beer that is 12 ounces of 10.5% alcohol. It describes itself as brewed to style, with a toasted oak finish. Then it was aged in black button bourbon barrels. Well, that's fun to say. Black button bourbon barrels. That's going to be my next password on my computer, I think.
Black button bourbon barrels. I like a Scotch
Everything from
ale.
K2 has been awesome, man.
Yeah, and everything
I also enjoy a
Scotch
Scotch ale, man.
Oh, it smells good.
I also enjoy myself a Scotch ale. I don't have them nearly often enough, but every time I have one, I'm like, damn, why don't I have these more often?
Old Chub is a good one.
Yeah, Old Chub is good, man. Founders made a good one, but I don't drink their beer anymore. They're racist as fuck.
Yeah.
Boy, that's a shame right there too, man. There's a couple of bombers around town of the CBS, a Canadian breakfast stout by Founders,
Yeah.
And I'm so tempted, and I'm like, I just can't do it. Can't do
it. Dude, that's good stuff.
Yeah, it's treating you good?
Yeah.
Immediately, the smell is very boozy. It smells like alcohol.
And it tastes like alcohol. It has got bourbon definitely strongly throughout.
Very strong. That almost tastes like a ready-made Boilermaker.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. It almost tastes like you took an Old Chub and added a shot of Weller or Buffalo Trace or something.
Yeah, absolutely so, man. Damn, that's good. K2 Bros continues to impress, man. They've not made anything that we've had that Jeff sent us that has not
so good
impressed me or made me go, wow, that's fucking unique. That's really good. It's also less heavy than I thought that it would be.
Yeah, it's a real light sort of texture and feel in the mouth, but it's very strong flavor. Just like bourbon and I don't know what
that's mostly what I get's the bourbon in there, man, and the oakiness of the bourbon too. You know,
yeah, good stuff.
I'm okay with that. You know, I got a bourbon the other day at the store. That's pretty fucking awesome, man. I got and apparently this is somebody that I guess is somehow involved in the sports world, but I don't know who it is. Who's Terry Bradshaw? Who's that?
Well, former Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. He's a broadcaster for Fox.
I'll take your word for it because I literally don't know. I just bought this
He's
bottle
also
of
in
bourbon
Failure
that said
to
Bradshaw.
Launch.
Oh yeah, is he?
Yeah, he's an actor from time to time. Yeah.
Okay. Well, his
recognize
bourbon's good as hell. I'll tell you that. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
cool.
pretty fucking nice. It's like a $42 bottle, something like that.
Damn.
Totally worth
Way
it.
to go, Terry Bradshaw.
Yeah, it's barrel-aged Scotch ale. It's getting real good to me. Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate that a lot. Always love having some beers from all over the country while we're stuck at home.
Yeah. I don't know how we're gonna get beers until we get a PO box now because you don't go to the Guitar Vault, right?
Well, right now I'm not teaching guitar lessons in person. We were having people send beers and stuff to the shop, but I'm not teaching in person until this all kind of blows over. So it will be a little while, and then watch this. We'll get a PO box, and then the fucking U.S. Postal Service is going to go out of business because our government won't give them any fucking money. We'll bail out cruise ships that don't pay U.S. taxes, but fuck the postal system? Are you kidding me?
Well, there are several reasons he wants to get rid of the postal system, and none of them are above board. But he's a piece of shit.
Now, Steve, you were telling me before that you happen to know a little bit about the history of the villainization of gators.
Yeah, and it's not, it's interesting because watching this, I was wondering like if animal rights people were against this, because this is the type of thing that if it made enough money could be the next Jaws, which is it could lead to people going out killing gators thinking they're saving people somehow. But the thing is that looking up like alligators in horror, or alligators as like antagonists in movies, you find that most of the time it's crocodiles. Like
they're the real assholes.
Yeah, like baby alligators appeared in Frogs in 1972, but Frogs is more of like a nature is the not villain so much as like nature gets its revenge on this terrible rich family. And we don't see actual full-grown gators, so the baby gators are shown as like part of nature, but they don't really do anything. Then you have Tobe Hooper's Eaten Alive, which is his follow-up to Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but that's actually a Nile crocodile, and it's even mentioned in the movie that it's not a gator, it's a crocodile. The first time that gators really do appear as like a villain in a horror movie is The Great Alligator River, which was an Italian adventure horror movie. 1979.
Now that sounds like fun.
Yeah, and that is again like they're going for gators are just a part of nature, and it's a part of once you get in that man versus nature thing, like nature is always going to win. So gators, again, aren't being necessarily like villainized. They're just a part of this force. But 1980, a movie called Alligator is about a flushed baby gator that then grows up in the sewers and becomes this big killing machine. And it's kind of a satire of Jaws. Like they even bring in a gator specialist to catch the gator. And it's really more of a joke and just a sort of hokey horror movie, but it did kind of like kick off some semblance of gator horror after that. I mean, there was Lake Placid in 99, which I think was really the big one, but the 2000s were just full of these shitty sci-fi, like terrible level CGI gator and crocodile horror movies. But there are two worth mentioning 2010's Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus. Again, not an alligator, but Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus. And then 2011, Mega Python versus Gatoroid.
I mean, my God, that sounds incredible. Why aren't we doing that instead?
And that was directed by Mary Lambert, who directed Pet Sematary.
No way.
Yeah, those are both sci-fi movies. But yeah, that one's directed by Mary Lambert.
But see, like, even the Alligators 1980 that you were talking about before, at least that kind of, like, has a little bit of fun playing with the urban legend of, like, oh, the sewers are full of crocodiles where people have flushed them and blah, blah, blah. Like, that's at least fun.
Well, and this is playing off of true stories of alligators seeking, like, seeking some sort of shelter in crawl spaces or under houses or in pools and things like that. So, like, they were working off of something that was familiar and could have been done in a way that worked, but then they added in the extra gators outside that really make it not work. It makes it not make any
like
sense
pack
anymore.
Animals and shit.
Yeah, they do. Gators do hunt sort of like packs sometimes, so that isn't absolutely wrong, but they wouldn't be doing it during a hurricane. It's just there's no reason why they would be doing that.
No,
and they don't, like, a single gator doesn't eat multiple times in a day.
Yeah, that's true. That's, like, not common for really most reptiles. Like, snakes eat once a week and shit, right?
Right. Yeah, so, like, the gators in the basement would have made sense because they're attacking to protect the territory they've claimed to get away from the hurricane. Again, like, if it stays in the basement, it all makes sense.
Yeah.
It maintains a logic and could have been really good. And,
other than the fact
that bit is good.
Yeah, other than the fact that, you know, if you live in a place that is prone to flooding, like much of Florida is, you don't have a fucking crawl space. Your house is on stilts, dude.
I don't know enough about houses in Florida. It seems to me like there's not a lot of logic to that in an area that would most likely flood anytime there was a hurricane.
You've got those big, like, holes in the brick, like the little kind of cross-shaped holes in the brick that are, like, ornamental. It just seems to invite flooding.
Yeah, but they also have the pipe that leads out to the ocean, which also invites flooding. Because even if it wasn't flooding above sea level, if the sea level was rising, that water would rise. It's not a system that makes much sense.
No, but, you know, of course, by having that drainage pipe, that's where we get her escaping and discovering those extremely relevant baby alligator eggs, because that made a big difference to the movie. What the fuck was that for? Like, they showed us that, like, that's supposed to be like fucking in Jurassic Park when they find the hatched eggs. And they're like, oh shit, they're reproducing and stuff. Yeah. Why did they show us that? Were they just trying to show us there will be a sequel?
I think that they were trying to set up maybe the idea that she was in an alligator nest and that mama would be coming in and it would be a big gator, but then nothing happens. I have no idea why they showed us that.
Yeah,
except
I was expecting that.
But what is that? Okay, she goes through a crack in their wall and they have, like, an arboretum under their house. Like, what is going on down there?
I could not figure that out.
I have no idea. And then that's connected to a hole to the ocean. Like, I'm very confused by what that was ever supposed to be. Like, because they had a backyard to that house.
Yeah.
So what was that? Because sun was coming in. Like, you could see light from cracks and stuff. Where the fuck was she? Did she go into, like, a Goonies portal and One-Eyed Willie was nearby? Like,
it seems like that's something that would definitely have, like, failed inspection and got your loan rejected. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, for sure.
It'd be like, your house is clearly designed by a fucking maniac that doesn't know how flooding in Florida works.
Yeah. But Alexander Aja, I think he does a good job of giving us good visual information and giving us good shots, and it looks good. Like, he had nothing to do with the CGI. He shot it as best he could. The moments that look best are the ones that are obviously shot on a set, and that's in the basement. So, like, he did his best job.
and the dog's adorable.
The dog is adorable and it survives. And apparently there was some debate among the producers about whether or not the dog should survive.
Man, we were watching this movie and it was like, dude, if the dog dies,
fuck this movie.
Fuck this movie.
Yeah, I agree. I think the dog is a reference to Jaws. There are definite references, it seems, to like Anaconda to me, and also Deep Blue Sea. Like when the deputy is like, you know, talking at the hole and the gator suddenly just jumps out and grabs him. It's like when Samuel L. Jackson is doing his speech and gets grabbed by the shark. Like I think Alexander Aja knew what movie he was making, and so he thought it was going to be kind of a funny movie, and adds in these like fun homages, but it just doesn't come out that way. It comes out as just depressing and sad.
Just joyless. Like, to me, the word I kept thinking of is joyless. Like there is nothing in this movie that is like a celebration of shitty creature features. There's nothing in it that's like self-aware fun.
Yeah. It's just
nothing
missing,
there for me.
Yeah, it's missing anything that would have made me enjoy it, really.
Well, except for that ending song that came up in the credits. Didn't that make you feel good?
See you later, alligator.
Wow, crocodile.
That's what it was for. I mean, it really was to just be like, okay, we need people to feel like they just had fun. So, jazzy song at the end, like
so dumb.
Where was the fun? I just no moment was fun. There were tense moments, and I think the tension was real good at moments, and especially like being conveyed by Kaya Scodelario. She's making a pizza.
The pizza.
I think like that tension was really strong at moments, but it's gone well into the moment where that song starts playing, and that song almost seems like it would be a tension breaker, but we're actually at a moment where we're supposed to be happy for them, but we obviously don't feel happy for them because all we've learned about him is that the dad's only way of connecting to his daughter was the right way, and his daughter cost 5 people their lives to save her dad, who probably would have been fine if he just broke through the floorboards.
Yeah.
It's just hard to care at that point.
Like that shitty ending song, that can work if it's fucking American Werewolf in London. Like that ends
where
with
there's
like a
been
real
humor
tongue-in-cheek.
throughout.
Yeah, exactly. Then it's just like, funny song. Because the ending of that movie is so grim, and then it's like, silly song, though you had fun. And it is kind of cool at the end of that movie. But this didn't earn that at all. I mean, the characters went through zero arc whatsoever.
No,
they changed.
She didn't learn anything. She didn't change, unless what we're supposed to see as change is her going from 6-year-old, why did you divorce mommy, to, oh, I get it, you guys were unhappy. I probably should have understood that, since I'm obviously a 19 to 20-year-old.
An adult.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It just didn't do it for me. It had the potential of being fun, and kind of like we were saying before we started recording, you know, last year kind of sucked. Of course, now it...
Oh, yeah, now it looks like fucking... Those were the good old days, yeah.
Yeah, but 2019 wasn't fun for a lot of people. There was a lot of bad things going on. And maybe people did just need a simple, I can just zone out and watch these people try to escape being eaten by gators, and that's fun enough.
And I do think that the era of, you know, horror movies filled with people making stupid decisions, like a lot of that had to do with feeling superior to the people you're watching. Like,
right, yeah.
And maybe people just needed that. Maybe they needed to feel like, oh, these dumb idiots keep making these stupid decisions. Like, you know, it made them feel better about themselves. And if you need that, you need that. That makes sense. Go for it.
Yeah. This made me feel like I should have been watching a better movie. That's what it made me feel.
Exactly. Me too. The whole time I was, well, not the whole time. As I said, I was in for it up to a certain point. I really thought it had a ton of potential. But it just became a drudge. And watching it the second time, I gained an appreciation for some things. Like I saw how how much Kaya Scodelario was carrying the movie. Yeah. How much she was carrying the movie and how she really is the draw for this. And it's like, okay, absolutely. Well, she's awesome. But seeing it the second time also made me hate it more. Like, I found things to like, and I also found more things to hate. So, I don't know. I wanted to like this movie. I swear. Like, I did not. I don't go into any movie wanting to hate it. But I really... all I heard about it was good, and I wanted it to just be dumb, fun, creature feature, but it's never dumb enough to be fun and never good enough to be good.
Yeah, I 100% agree, man. Like, I wanted to like this movie as well, because, like, I heard a few other people talking about it, and even, like, the reviews that were real critiques of it, like what we're giving it, we're just like, oh, yeah, it's just a fucking dumb movie where people are trying to not get eaten by alligators. I'm like, okay, I'm on board for that. That and if fun, at least.
If it played out that way and everybody was making either the most logical decision or a decision that you understand is illogical because of the moment, that would all work. You see somebody make a stupid decision, it's like, yeah. You see a cop get mesmerized by a swing and just start walking toward it for no reason. And it's like...
now that's storytelling.
That nobody acts like that. So you just can't connect to it.
No, I agree, man. And I mean, anybody that listens to the show knows, like, I love a awesomely bad movie. I love stupid fucking movies.
This just doesn't do that for you.
No, this wasn't stupid enough, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't really understand any of the hype. I wonder if there's a lot of, like, bot reviews of this floating around out there of, like, you know, it's like, did people really like this, or is it just a bunch of bots reviewing it?
A $13.5 million budget, $91.5 million at the box office.
Really?
So people liked it. People legit liked it and went and saw it. I mean, it does get the benefit of being out in the summer, and I don't know if every studio is getting it yet, but there's no bad time to release a horror movie. Nope. And, like, you know, people put them off for late summer or, you know, closer to October. But there's no bad time to release it. And the middle of the summer just hit right. It just hit them at the right moment. And I think also, you know, it was around the time of, say, like, didn't Child's Play come out that summer and stuff?
Yeah,
it was around the time of some more disappointing horror movies that maybe it was just, like, something original and something different. And so people were just like, ugh, fuck, at least this is new. At least it's an idea.
Yeah, at least it's not just another fucking remake this year. Yeah.
And for that, I would give it, you know, some credit. But again, it's just missing a lot of things. It's written by the guys who wrote The Ward, which is, I think, John Carpenter's last movie he directed.
Oh, I never saw that.
I talked about it when I just sat down and watched every John Carpenter movie. The Ward is better than The Village, Village of the Damned, which is, I think, the one he did before. Or maybe, no, Vampires was the last he had done before. Or Ghosts of Mars. Anyway, he had some bad movies.
Yeah, bless him.
But The Ward isn't terrible. It just didn't feel like a Carpenter movie to me. I think that, you know, I just don't know. This seems to fall apart in the writing to me. It seems like the way that the story is presented is the problem.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't know. Maybe something else happened. Maybe producers stepped in and they, you know, warped their original view or whatever. But it seems like the writing is the problem here.
Yeah, I wonder if somewhere in here some executive hands got a hold of it and, you know, choked all the fun out of it or anything else.
Like maybe an executive's son who recently graduated from the University of Florida where he was a swimmer got a hold of it and he was like, I know what would fix this.
It bums me out that Raimi's name was attached to this, I guess, as a producer. I don't exactly know how he got wrangled into that. I hope that he starts making better decisions in the future. And I hope they give Aja
that makes
better
me
movies
think
to
that
to
that makes me think the script was probably better in the beginning. I'm not sure though.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah, since Raimi's name is, but you know, maybe it's just one of those things where, like, it obviously was a good investment. it made its money. So
it made money, yeah.
Yeah, he and Raimi knows the horror market, so it probably was one of those things where he was like, it doesn't matter if it's good or bad, this will make money.
Yeah, could be, man. Yeah, I wish I could say that I loved it, but I didn't. If I'm gonna give this thing a rating, gosh, man, I really seriously might go as low as like 2. Like, there was some good tension in parts of it. All the basement stuff was fine. I mean, when the water is like rising up and they're running out of oxygen, and also it's making these gators more agile and better killers.
Yeah.
You know, the closer they are to getting killed. Yeah. Cool. I like that. That's good
all
tension.
Good. Yeah.
And again, the CG was better than I thought that it would be.
Yeah.
Past that, just fucking a bore. I'm in no rush to watch this again, so yeah, I'll probably go like 2.
I would say, for me, it comes down to the fact that Kaya Scudelario.
Let's do a game
I'm
where
saying it wrong.
Every time you hear her name on the show, take a shot.
There you go. The Kaya Scudelario game. I think that she's the best part of the movie.
Without a doubt.
It looks good. It's well shot, especially considering how much CGI is in it, that they were able to make it keep a consistent look lighting wise and things. The problems with the gators in motion and the flat spiders, whatever. Those are things you can overlook if the story was better, or if the tension was more I don't know, I guess thicker. If they just didn't keep permeating it with jump scares, that would have made this a better movie. There's so many ways it could have been a better movie, but the movie that it was for me, I got 3.
Okay. Yeah.
I think I'm being like very deferential to a really good performance against nothing. Like I think because she did so well against nothing that she deserves a 3. Whereas and because Alexander Aja shot a well done movie that like he probably didn't have much control of once they were done with all the green screening. Like it still looked good the way he shot it. So
this is like the directorial equivalent of Robert Pattinson's performance in Twilight, where you watch it and you're like, well, that's what he had to work with. So
yep, you can't do any more than what you got to work with, and he did the best he could. So for me, that's a 3. Good job, guys.
Good effort. Gold star. All right, Steve, next week on the show, we're going to be reviewing a Patreon pick, because as some of you guys might already know, if you support our show over at, tell them, Steve.
Patreon.com/dead and lovely.
Boom. You sign up for that how many dollar a month level?
$5 a month. The Make It a Pizza level.
The Make It a Pizza level, and you can submit a movie for us to draw at random out of a receptacle. It's a cup, it's a hat, it's a bowl. It used to be a swan's ass.
Yep. It's now a Dia de los Muertos bowl. Yeah, it's all over the place.
We'll draw one of those things out of there and review whatever movie it is that you want to hear on the show. So be sure to visit the Patreon page and sign up. And as a matter of fact, next week we're going to be doing one of those Patreon picks, and it is
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Oh boy!
I'm excited to do that. I think
I have or have not seen that movie that you inserted in post.
I might not.
I may or may not be excited about it.
So yeah, come back next week for that.
For that one that Steve said a minute ago. You guys be sure to go on iTunes, rate and review the show. It helps us out a ton. As I said earlier, leave a question at the end of your review. That'll be answered on a later installment of a FAQ preview palace. You guys can also follow us all over the social media. We're everywhere.
At Dead Lovely Pod on Twitter and Instagram. We're on Discord. We're on YouTube /Dead and Lovely. We're all over the place. Just look for us. Facebook.com /Dead and Lovely. Basically, Dead and Lovely all over the place, or Dead Lovely Pod.
We're everywhere.
Everywhere.
Well, I hope that everybody out there is staying happy and healthy and staying the fuck home. The sooner everybody stays home, the sooner we can get back to normal. Of course, barring that you're not staying home because you are a essential worker keeping us alive in the healthcare world or the trucking and delivery industry, any of those sort of things. You guys are literally keeping the country moving.
I apologize for everything you have to do, and I hope we change the entire economy. I doubt it'll happen.
I hope that you guys are getting paid fucking triple than what you usually do, because you deserve it. So thank you guys so much for listening to the show. Hopefully it's brought you a moment of joy in these trying times. And we'll be catching up with you guys next week. Wash your hands. Wash your ass. It's been Dead and Lovely with Uncle Ben.
And Hollywood Steve.
And we'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so I'm thinking about trying to put together the ultimate quarantine Spotify playlist.
Okay.
I've already got a few ideas. I'm thinking, obviously start with Down with the Sickness.
Ooh,
Exactly. Maybe you put a little bit of I Think We're Alone Now on there.
Okay.
I think that's a pretty good start, at least. You got anything else you think you could toss onto that thing?
Dancing with Myself.
Ooh, that's good. One is the loneliest number if you're
all by myself.
Oh yeah, little heart-wrenching ballad in there.
Yeah. What else we got? I think you probably want to throw some Anthrax on there, right? Too.
Oh yeah, you're probably right.
Because of the Biohazard look. What else do we need? What about Widespread Panic?
Okay, just in general, just Widespread Panic. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. And then at the very end of it, we close it out with The Cure.
Oh, man. There you go.
Uplifting.
It's nice.